Warning, this video contains Code Geass spoilers. All the spoilers. All of them. Man, who else is excited for Season 3? Now, Code Geass ended on a pretty definitive note, at least in terms of the overall plot. And many people, whether they feel that at the end Lelouch is dead or alive, felt that the ending itself was pretty good. So now that we know there's going to be a third season, the real question is, where do they go from here? What happens next? What happens in Season 3? Part of the problem is that Code Geass Season 2 or R2 already featured a huge worldwide conflict, superpowered mechas, a giant flying fortress called the Damocles, and weapons of mass destruction known as the Flea. So the question is, where can they go from here? Every good anime likes to raise the stakes in each new season. Just think of Gurren Lagann, where they begin trapped in a cave and end up saving the entire universe. So where can the writers of Code Geass go from a huge worldwide conflict? The first thing they're gonna need to do is hire some really good writers. And the second thing they're probably gonna be thinking about is aliens. Okay, not those aliens, let me show you what I mean. In Code Geass, it is implied that there once was an ancient civilization of beings who possess code, and it was these beings who created the 8 thought elevators that are scattered around the globe, and which Charles uses to activate the Ragnarok connection. Since they were able to create these structures of great power, clearly this civilization was very advanced and powerful, and it kind of reminds me of the Atlantis myth in our own world. But what happened to these ancient beings? Who were these ancient beings? Could it be that they were ancient aliens? Take a look at this clip from episode 1 of Code Geass when Lelouch first gets his Geass power from C2. This flashes by a bit quickly, so I'm gonna slow this down. Check out this frame. See here, you can see an ancient civilization of beings who have code. You can see the code sign on their foreheads, and you can see by the way they're dressed that they're clearly part of some ancient civilization that is not familiar to us. Now look at this next frame. We can see a planet. Why do they show us what looks like a foreign planet? Could it be that they're trying to tell us, give us a brief hint that these beings, this civilization, comes from another planet, or perhaps that they have colonized multiple planets and built these devices, these thought elevators, on all of these different planets? I'm actually a fiction writer myself, and I read a lot of stories and I write a lot of stories. And if I was writing this third season of Code Geass, I would want to explore more fully this ancient civilization. Where are they now? Do they have powers we still don't know about? Are they aliens who colonized multiple planets? And do they possess technology that can make them a brand new challenge and threat to the world of Code Geass, and a new reason for Lelouch to resurface? You might have heard of Akito the Exile, which is an OVA or spin-off of Code Geass that is supposed to take place between the first and second seasons. Now, in Akito the Exile episode 3, we can see that C2 is part of a Geass order and that she offers a Geass contract to Layla, who is the main character of Akito the Exile. Near the end of the episode, we see another immortal witch appear as an apparition to one of the characters, and she tells him the following: "All that matters to us is that the balance of space-time is maintained. We do not care who becomes king of this world." This clearly implies that the power these beings with code possess stretches far beyond just our world. In the last episode of Akito the Exile, episode 5, this same being with code appears to Layla, and she tells her that she and others like her are actually representations of the collective consciousness. So she says that she is not really a human at all, and that in fact, humans can only possess a small fragment of what is the true power of Geass. She says that humans cannot even imagine the full extent of Geass power. This makes me think that perhaps these original beings with code, this ancient civilization, became so advanced that they moved beyond physical forms and became representations of pure consciousness, kind of like the anti-spirals in Gurren Lagann. We can't know any of this for sure because we don't know if Akito the Exile is actually going to be canon to what happens in Season 3. We don't know if it's going to be relevant, but we can just look at it for some clues to what might happen. And if we have Lelouch and our protagonists facing a powerful race of ancient beings with code, I think that would be a very cool way to raise the stakes. You know, if these beings are so advanced that they've moved beyond physical form and they have powers of Geass that we cannot even imagine, then it's definitely going to challenge and test the power of Lelouch. It is also important to note that Akito the Exiled has many problems with character development and plot, and we definitely need better writers for Season 3 of Code Geass. But some things that Akito the Exile does well is the animation and the powerful action sequences, which actually include jazz music, and it reminds me of kind of Cowboy Bebop with mechas, and it's pretty cool. Akito the Exile does introduce some cool new concepts which might come up again in Code Geass Season 3, including new types of nightmares which move in unique ways. Some of them move like a spider, for example, or like a horse, so that's very cool, I have to say. And the concept of launching nightmares into space with a rocket is also introduced, and this is used in order to land the nightmares by surprise into enemy territory. So again, we're going into space, and even in Akito the Exiled, and this might come back again in Code Geass Season 3. In fact, I'm willing to bet that it will. So yeah, in terms of the potential villains for Code Geass Season 3, I would look at this ancient advanced civilization of beings with code, and it might turn out that they're actually an alien civilization with advanced powers and technology. The other important point that I want to talk about is the fact that Lelouch is said to be coming back as the main character in Season 3. In my previous video on Code Geass Season 3, and you can check it out, the link is in the description, I argued that Lelouch is still alive at the end of Code Geass because he was able to take Charles's code away from him. So Lelouch is alive because he has code and he is now an immortal being just like C2. However, now that Lelouch possesses code, there are still two separate possibilities for his Geass power, and I want to talk about those right now. The first possibility is that now that he possesses code, Lelouch can no longer use his Geass power the same way as C2 and Charles could no longer use their Geass power after they received code. Even if this is the case, Lelouch would still be an important character, because don't forget that someone with code can actually give Geass to other people. So this means that Lelouch could potentially mentor a new generation of Geass users, and he could be the mastermind behind them. The second possibility is actually something I did not consider until a couple of people pointed it out in the comments to my previous video on Lelouch, so thank you guys very much for that. And basically this argument states that the reason C2 and Charles could no longer use their Geass power once they got code is because the people that gave them their Geass power in the first place, the Nun and V2, were dead. Now because Lelouch didn't receive his Geass power from Charles, he actually received it from C2, and she is still alive, which means that their contract is still valid. This means that Lelouch could actually possess code and Geass at the same time. And maybe that's the point of the title of the anime, Code Geass. This is a really cool theory, and a big thank you again to everyone who pointed it out to me. And if this is really the case, if Lelouch possesses both code and Geass, that means that he will be a really powerful being in Season 3. But that also means that he's gonna need some really powerful opponents, some really powerful enemies. At any rate, it's gonna be really fun to see what Code Geass Season 3 has in store for us, and I'm definitely excited. I can't wait. So yeah guys, I hope you liked this video, and please let me know what some of your theories are about what's going to happen in Season 3. Let me know down in the comments, because I'm really interested in what you think. And if you did enjoy this video, give it a like, give it a share, and be sure to subscribe for more videos about Code Geass Season 3. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.